So first off, thanks Family Guy for providing me this video as I didn't have time to capture my own gameplay. You might be wondering, why is it that I, Vampire, decided to start a YouTube now? It's been, what, 2 years since the beta announcement trailer for Uncharted 3 Reloaded, so why suddenly dive into content creation and YouTube now? A bit of a backstory. Prior to the actual trailer release, we started the project back in 2019. Back then, it was a very small number of us doing work to revive the games, and it took years to even get it into a playable state that it is now. Remember, you only saw the mostly finished product, where you could jump in and play. You didn't see me or the other staff spend thousands and thousands of hours getting it to that point. This will mostly be a video on myself because I'm the one creating the YouTube content. That isn't to say the other admins haven't spent thousands and thousands of hours of their life on the project. They have, but this is more so why I, Vamp, have decided to start getting into content creation. Prior to the actual trailer and revival, I spent a lot of time organizing and preparing the Discord the way it is now, including organizing the project and departments and getting everything to where it was. When I decided to launch a trailer in August 31st, 2024, I, at the time, was doing a master's degree and working 3 jobs, which would later drop down to 2 jobs after about 2 months or so of working the 3rd job due to travel requirements and the hours not being enough to make it worthwhile. I was asked by an admin who's no longer here. He left the project suddenly with no goodbye. He asked when we were going to have an actual trailer. I should have said no and postponed any type of launch, but I could understand his frustrations of not having a trailer ready and not having the server open to the public. At the time, I was also doing a lot of volunteering and some leadership programs alongside running the server, so I had very, very little time to do stuff. The hope with all these extracurriculars and focus on working was that it would hopefully lead to better career opportunities in the future. With that, I was getting the trailer ready and focused on getting an announcement ready, only to be met with the worst regret I would come to endure in my whole life. I'm going to outline a bit of the timeline so you understand what I was doing at the time and at which points. You'll notice I bring up these dates or things in other videos or me making references to the timeline in real life in the videos and what was going on in my life. This makes it easier to get an idea of what was happening and why I would get so frustrated with a lot of how the community interacted with us or how they treated staff or even myself. Starting December 2023, I moved to a different country for my master's degree and started job hunting. This was right after COVID ended in 2022 and the economy was not really doing that well, with a lot of people struggling for work. So the best step for myself at the time was to try to avoid doing nothing and try to do what I could to make myself keep busy. January 2024 to August 2024, I eventually find 3 jobs early on in January, which I will be doing while doing school full-time. I dropped 1 job after a few months of doing it. It would have been around the time of the trailer launch. However, I'm still doing school full-time and working 2 jobs while doing other extracurricular activities. August 2024, we launched the trailer in beta, and now we have a ton of incidents occurring at the same time. Mostly, the person left to deal with it is myself. You can see me get into this stuff in the other videos, whether it's cheating allegations or just toxicity. August 2024 to October 31st, 2024, I worked 2 jobs while running the server and dealing with issues alongside other extracurricular activities. November 2024 to January 2025, I was planning to go study in China and I was preparing for that. I ended up quitting both jobs and moving to another countries to focus on that and finish my master's online in the meantime. I would complete my master's by January 2025 and would leave in about February 2025 for China. February 2025 to April 2025, my school messed up and it ended up with me having to leave China. I was supposed to be there for a year, and it led to me going to 2 other different countries, one for a month on a somewhat of a vacation to stay with a friend, and then to another country. From May 2025 to June 2025, I ended up mainly focusing on server stuff while I planned for my next move, which was eventually going to another country where my friend got me a job, albeit it wasn't really a permanent job or well-paying one. From June 2025 to September 2025, I ended up arriving in the country, but the job gets placed on hold to hire me, and I ended up having to get another one, with the other job coming back with an offer. It ended up with me working both jobs at the same time. This resulted in me getting about 3 hours or less of sleep. I eventually moved to another city in the end of September, which makes it much more stable, but I had no job. Within a week of getting to the new city, I ended up finding a new job. So from September 2025 to the present, I'm working this job. It's a temporary role and it has been for some time. It's not related to any of my degrees, but work is work, and the server keeps having issues with the community. And even worse, we now have staff leaking stuff. This is a rough timeline of things going on in my life. I know I'm gonna get a who cares or why does it matter, but when you watch the other videos and the timeline starts adding up and making sense, you'll see why I start getting frustrated and losing my temper with issues that keep propping up in the community. It all starts adding up. This isn't adding on to the fact that it was usually myself who was responding to the majority of tickets, mostly whitelisting people, dealing with competitive drama in the community or drama in general, running various teams, and dedicating an absurd amount of time to the Revival server and Discord community. The other admins had stuff to do like programming or modding, and I also helped with that stuff, but you're not going to get somebody whose priority is software development or programming to work at checkout, for example. It's just usually a waste of their time and abilities. The amount of time I would end up sacrificing to this community and project was hours and hours of my life. What people don't get is there's this thing called an opportunity cost. An opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone when deciding. Because resources like time, money, and labor are limited, choosing one option means you cannot pursue others. It represents the hidden cost of the missed opportunity. So when I choose to dedicate my time to drama in the community or resources or even organize the Discord server, I'm losing an opportunity to job hunt, for example, or do something like train myself in a skill to advance myself, or even have fun like play video games. Things people take for granted because they don't have to deal with all the problems in the community. They just jump into Uncharted and someone upsets them, so they get angry and cause problems in the Discord. And people really take for granted what we do for the community, especially myself, in trying to curb a lot of the cheaters, toxicity, and even keep the servers updated and stable, including modding. This YouTube, at least the starting videos, will hopefully shed light on a lot of what I have to deal with, not even accounting for the rest of the things other staff have to deal with or do. People really take for granted how much time and effort goes into all this. It's not a thing that generates any revenue. No one gets paid for it. It's us doing all this work for free and has been for 2 years. Eventually, I was having a conversation with somebody and they asked me, how long are you going to keep doing this? I said, what do you mean? As long as possible, right? Except, the more I thought about it, do I want to keep doing this for another 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, where I waste hours of my time and life and nothing changes, where the community doesn't try to fix itself or be less problematic, where we keep having to deal with hackers and cheaters plaguing the game, where it's constantly dealing with the same disrespect and drama from people, where I go and I see people in a stream continuously harass me or make comments about me and say I'm the most awful person there is, with them doing nothing to really try to change the community or make it better or even appreciate all the sacrifice that me and my team have done. So what could I do to make a change? Well, when Cooper made his last video, he talked about how he was one of the few creators of Uncharted content and how he was thinking of moving on, which got me to thinking. There's a lot of cool Uncharted stuff to talk about and make content for. It's also one of the best ways to talk about issues and ways to get changes to happen because more people watch videos than they do at reading announcements I post in the Discord. Not only that, but it would let us do patch updates, talk to the community, let them know about events, and talk to them about some of the ideas we have to fix things. It would also let me play video games more and create content, hopefully, which would allow me to invest in my own skill set and learn new things, because I don't have a lot of time to do that with the server taking up so much of my time. It also means I can play games that I've been meaning to play, and hopefully I can try that as an avenue for making money and see where it goes. And I know someone's going to be like, good luck, that's not going to happen. The chances are 1 in a million that I get a lot of views and make a career out of YouTube or whatever other streaming platform that I choose to operate on, and that's okay. We heard the same thing of people telling us it was impossible to revive the games for about 5 years, and look what we did. Here we are. If the content is good, people will subscribe, and if they enjoy watching stuff, the channel won't only focus on Uncharted, it'll focus on other games as well, but the primary focus will be on Uncharted content, theories, and other stuff I hope viewers will like. Maybe it doesn't work out, maybe I do it for a couple years and it's not worthwhile, I don't know, but something has to change or I'm always going to be losing my life to this project and getting a lot of hatred thrown at me for just trying to keep the community as healthy as it can be. This is Uncharted territory for me. Get it? Uncharted territory. I know, I'm so funny. If it ends up doing well, then hopefully it can lead to me reinvesting some money back into the server. I'm talking long term, like if it hits millions of views or something, which I'm doubtful, but whoever knows. But first of all, most of the money, if I make any, will go back into the streaming content or just have it go into savings while I do stuff while it makes the most sense, whether that's investing in a better PC or better audio equipment and things like that. I know somebody's going to say, why not just ask for donations for the server? Any risk of donations puts the server at risk of getting shut down, and people will demand certain privileges for donating, like special ranks, or being allowed to hack, or getting whitelisted faster, or being allowed to cheat, or demand our developers and volunteers work faster to give them more content, such as patches. Server donations for other revival projects also not end up getting a lot of money, maybe $50 to $70 a month, and I'm aware they don't really do new patches like our team, but I don't want it to become the, how do we distribute money among staff, who deserves it for how much and for what they do? With content creation, people are more likely to donate because they're actively getting something in return. If you would have asked me 2 years ago if this much would have happened and we would have gotten to the point where we have with the revival project, I would have probably said, I would have doubted you. This is just another new avenue to take the server and hopefully it pays off and I can make some cool content for you guys in the future while also having us run the community better for the future of the project. I didn't want this video to be too long. I also didn't really want to edit it too much. I edited the other videos a lot, so you're just going to get me having gaps where I take breaths or trying to breathe because it's just me trying to get this up and running after I've been working on it for months. This was the answers to the why now people will probably have of why I'm starting to make a YouTube and the direction that the community will be going in. You'll want to watch the other videos where we talk about some of the issues with staff and cheating that has happened, especially with Ant. With that, I'm hoping that me and Thugs and Random and some others who've been redoing the moderation system, especially for competitive players, will get a video up within the next week talking about some of the changes, and I'll do an announcement more so on that, touching on it later. But other than that, thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the videos that took way too long to work on.